Hello everyone, I'm Jensen Denoyes here for a new and exciting episode of Hero in You.
And I'm Simony Antunes. Hero in You is an educational program that focuses on self-growth and self-empowerment. Our aim is to discuss a topic connected to a comic book issue and see how it relates to our daily lives so you can
find the hero in you. Today's topic is on leadership. We're here at the Rocky Marciano Stadium in Brockton, Massachusetts, the city of champions. On this episode, we're going to talk about the importance of leadership and how to be a good leader. And we actually have a one-on-one exclusive interview with former Patriots player Jermaine Wiggins. He talks about his leadership skills and his plan as being the new coach for the Brockton High School football team. You definitely don't want to miss this episode.
This next superhero that we'll be talking about today is Nubia. From the pages of Nubia, she is the Queen of the Amazons, written by Stephanie Williams. And she writes on how Nubia uses leadership to reach all of her goals.
Hey coach, pass the ball.
Yes! Woo!
I'm Elsa Suxo and I interviewed Samantha Westgate, one of the librarians here at the Brockton Public Library. Check this out. Welcome back to Hearing You. It's your host Elsa, and today I'm with Miss Sam. Miss Sam is one of the librarians here in Brockton for all three branches, correct?
Yes, all three.
Yeah, my daughter actually knows her. She's been coming here since she was 2, and she loves it here with Miss Sam. So today we're going to talk about leadership.
Go ahead.
What does being a leader mean to you?
Well, you're leading the next generation, so I like to be good examples to the kids. I like saying, okay, let's do this, show your own self, be who you want to be, but also do it in a way where kids look up to you.
Okay.
So that's really important to me, and I like to always have a positive feedback. I never want the kids to see me stressed out, aggravated, or any of that stuff. So I'm just happy face. Let's go, guys.
Keep it moving. Always have a good poker face, right?
Yes.
So you do have a lot of programs here.
Yes.
How did you get yourself into it? How did you push all that?
So when I got the position, I was on the fence about becoming a librarian. So I was just I came into the position, was all by chance. I actually never wanted to be a children's librarian.
Really?
Yes. I went into my master's program, and when I did that, I need money.
Okay.
And luckily, there was a children's position opening up at the time, so I hopped into it. I'm like, let me just test it out, get some experience, see what I feel like. And since then, it's been history. I actually fell in love with the job. So I learned all kinds of story time techniques. I learned reading techniques. I learned book club techniques. And then I actually started talking to the kids. I'm like, what do you want to see at the library? What kind of programs do you want to see that are non-bookish? So a lot of the kids told me what they wanted to see. So they wanted to see animals. They wanted arts and crafts programs. And then I listened to what they wanted. And then I thought about what I wanted as a kid.
Yeah.
So I did that, which is why we're getting a sheep today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
No, I am too. I can't wait for that. But so I dived in. I changed everything once in a while, but I always just listened to the kids.
Good. And as a good leader, sometimes plans fail.
Yes.
How do you get back up?
Well, I take a breath. I have to walk away from a little bit. And then I just come back and I'm like, okay, guys, change the time. We're doing something else. We're going to do it differently. We're going to take a rewind. I make noise effects so much. It helps the kids. So I go back and sometimes we have to just restart it. Sometimes we just have to make the best of it. But I always just calm myself down first before I go back to the kids. I'm like, if it's not going the way I need to, calm down real quick. Okay, kids, let's go.
Okay. Well, that's a good example of a great leader right there. So today, can you tell me what's going on today?
So today, I'm really excited about this one. I haven't shut up about it for 6 months now.
I know, that's why I wanted to tell you everything about it.
Okay, so today we have a sheep coming to the library. They are going to shear the sheep. So the kids are going to learn how to safely shear the sheep. So if a kid cries, I'm going to feel bad, but at least the animal will be okay.
Yes.
So they're going to shear the sheep, and then the kids obviously are going to beat the sheep. And then after they shear the sheep, they're going to take some of the wool and they're going to spin it. I don't know what they're going to spin it into, but it's going to be really cool. We're going old-fashioned. And so she has 2 sheep coming today, so that's going to be really cute. And then she also told me there's a pony coming, and we might get the pony. So I'm just like, yes.
Pony time.
Pony, yes.
All right, so that's what's going on today. Miss Sam is one of the best persons I have ever met.
Thank you.
Super sweet. And if you ever around any of the branches, the East, the West, and the Main, you would definitely see Miss Sam. Thank you so much, Miss Sam, for teaching our children how to be leaders.
Thank you.
church leadership plays an active role in our community. We recently interviewed Pastor Karen Ricketts of Randolph, Massachusetts in Spring of Water Christian Assembly for her description of a leader. Let's play the clip.
I started out very young, and I basically was a part of choirs. You know, that I love to sing. Grew up in church. My grandparents took me there and became a Christian when I was about 14. And then after that, I just started, you know, working with a lot of choirs, working on the worship teams in church, and growing over time to places of leadership. And so I led the worship team as a worship leader, and that's really one of my, I would say, strong points in ministry. But I also taught Sunday school. I, you know, led the entire music and arts ministry at my former church, and then, you know, it's something that the pastor, I think, saw in me to encourage me to be ordained. And so I became ordained in 2014. And from there, you know, as a pastor, and just worked, I think, with a little bit more intensity in ministry and with the people, and, you know, on and on. It doesn't stop. So I could keep going for a long time. I like to think of 3 words when I prepare, and that's pray, plan, and prepare. A lot of times people see us up here on the stage, you know, in church singing, and I think, you know, maybe some have the perception that we just get up and sing. Not so. There's prayer that goes into it. There's looking for and praying for songs to do each week during a worship service, and choosing those songs is also in conjunction maybe with what the pastor is speaking on, or just talking to pastor and finding out the direction that he might be going in, where the church is going. You think about songs that people can quickly connect with in worship. So it's not just let's pick a song and sing it. You know, it's really deliberate, for me anyway. I always love to sing. I love music. My dad, I was telling someone the other day how my dad bought me my first, and this will date me, but my first record player, and the records was like Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson, and yep, church girl, listening to Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson. But I always loved the music of the church. Always loved the songs of church. And I remember as a young person walking down the street to church, and the windows of the church would be open in the hot sunny days, and you could hear the music flowing from the building, and there was such a power in those songs. And so I was always drawn to that. My grandmother loved to sing alto, and I remember sitting beside her in church and hearing her harmonize with the melody that was being sung in the hymns, you know. So it's just all so special, all so precious to me. And I grew up on hymns, and I love the hymns, and we should never let the hymns go. They're a very important part of who we are, you know. So I love music, always. The choir is wonderful, but I also like to teach other people the importance of worship and leading worship. And, you know, so I do workshops. I've been asked to speak at worship conferences, and just help people understand the power behind worship and the true meaning of worship, you know, and the connection that we have with God because we're allowed in His presence, you know. So it is important to me. It's the music is important, yes, but the spirit behind the music. There's a song that says, "When the music fades, and all is," I think it says, "all is something drifted away or slipped away," I can't remember. "And I simply come, longing just to bring something that's of worth that will bless your heart. I'll give you more than a song, for a song in itself is not what you require." And so I want to bring more than a song. And that's the way that I live when I think of worship and lead worship and teach worship. Honestly, if they have that desire, where I would want them to start is not even at the song. I'd want them to start at the word and understanding worship by way of the word and the power of worship that took place in the Bible. The thing is that a lot of times we do things because we like it. I would teach differently with the young people because I would want them to like it, yes, but it has to be done from the heart. But it's not just a song, it's more than that. And it's not just the music, it's more than that. It is the spirit behind what we do. And so the genuineness of it, the authenticity of it, comes from what you do away from it, actually. Comes in the presence of God, comes when you're spending time alone with the Lord, because then you understand the connection that you have with Him, and therefore you can produce what the Bible calls a new song. You sing out of your heart, out of love for God.
Leadership! And always remember to keep the vibe alive.
Nubia is Wonder Woman's twin sister. She is the queen of the Amazons, and she possesses the most remarkable leadership qualities, fostering resilience, strategic thinking, and determination. Like Nubia, Aminata also shows her determination as Brockton High School's class of 2023 graduate and the first winner for the Heroing You's writing contest for Women's History Month. She writes about her inspiration behind her leadership.
Well, being a leader is just about caring about what you want and keeping the goal in mind, and also being passionate about what you want. So when you are passionate about everything that you are striving for, a lot of people can sense that from you and have a sense of direction from you. So I feel like I have that at times when I am passionate about my work and my interests, like computer science, or of just a simple task that I'm handed to by my classmates or my peers or my mentors and my teachers. So I do consider myself to be a leader in some cases, yeah. My mother is a very passionate woman, and she is very considerate of everything I've done. She has sacrificed a lot for me since the day I was born, and she's like the embodiment of what it is to have struggled in this day and era. So when I come home into her, she always just makes me feel happy and makes me consider and be grateful to everything that I worked for. Everything that I do is for her. So her supporting me throughout everything and to the years ahead when I go to college is everything to me. Nubia is she's definitely a leader. She is very passionate. She's very symbolic to just how women can be strong and they can lead others. She cares for others and she wants to save others. So just being like that can definitely impact others' lives, and that is definitely what a leader does.
It takes a community to build a football team. Jermaine Wiggins, former Patriots player, actually won a Super Bowl with the Patriots team in Super Bowl 36. He is now the head coach for the Brockton High School varsity football team, the Boxers. He actually talks about the importance of leadership skills, and also the former tight end will also talk about his plans for the football team for the upcoming season. Check out the interview.
Well, I've always been a huge fan of sports in general, just as somebody who enjoys sports. But for me, growing up, sports was a huge part of my life because it kept me headed on the right path. You know, I remember my mother used to say, hey, listen, you ain't going to be hanging in them streets, so you better figure out what you're going to do. And I was a Boys and Girls Club kid, so I've always been involved in sports from the time that I can remember. You know, when I was a little kid, whether it was street hockey, basketball, football, baseball, stickball, I mean, we did it all. So that was the biggest kind of inspiration in me as I got older. And then as, you know, I had kids, I wanted them to be, I wanted to instill what sports meant to me, because I know how important it was in my life and I knew the benefits that it came. So I've always kind of been involved in sports from the time that I can remember. There's three things that I always preach, right? These three things that I preach to be a student athlete that is going to put you in the best possible position to be successful. And not in any particular order, but number one is sacrifice. You got to be willing to sacrifice if there's something that you really want to do. Number two is prioritize. How important is that thing that you want, right? Whether it's you're in the classroom, whether it's on sports, you got to be able to prioritize what's important to you. And the third thing is time management. You're using your time wisely. That's the one thing you can't get back in this world is time. You can always gain more money. You can always, build this legacy and build this empire from you. But the one thing you can't get is that time. And understanding your time management with those other two things is so important. So those are the things that I feel like if you have those three things as a foundation, then everything else will take care of itself, and that will put you in the best possible position to be successful and attain your goals. I remember throughout my career, whether it was college, whether it was in the NFL, the one thing that I always prided myself on was being from East Boston, right? Being part of East Boston. And that was the community knowing that I was able to get to where I was in my life, obviously because of my mother and what she was able to do, but because of the community I came from. So seeing people work hard, seeing my mother who basically, came from nothing, a single parent, raising a kid, not much money, but showing me like, oh, she's going to work every day, working multiple jobs. There were times that it just, when you see somebody do that and you see people in your community that are working hard, that are trying to do the right things to put, what we used to call put food on the table and put a roof over our head, that's where the community I'm proud to be from. So my thing is now here, it's the same type of community experience. Brockton is very similar to East Boston and as far as kind of the demographics, people from the city, blue collar people. And so I want not only the kids that live in this community, that are from this community, that come to this school, to be proud of where they come from, because that's the most important thing. At the end of the day, I always look at anybody who knows me. I've played with Tom Brady, Randy Moss, the list goes on and on. Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi, Ty Law. Anybody who ever who knows me, they'll always say one thing. Oh, Wiggy's from East Boston, because I talk about how proudful I am to be from my community and be from East Boston, because that made me who I was as I was going through all my journey. So the community is so important. And that's all the stuff that comes with it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty. That's all of the stuff that comes with your community, because it shapes and molds you into the person you ultimately become. And you'll never forget. That's why I have East Boston tatted on my forearms. And it says, never forget where you come from. Leadership qualities, there's many different leaders. There's guys that are more vocal than us. There are guys who lead by example, who might not be as, I played with Troy Brown, and Troy wasn't the most vocal leader, but he was somebody that worked every day. You saw him. You saw he was first in the gym, last to leave, in his playbook, doing the things that were right. So leaders can come in many different things, but at the end of the day, the leader that I look at as somebody who has those leadership qualities is somebody who's willing to say to their friends, say to their teammates, hey, we need to do it this way. That's wrong. This is what we need to do. If we want to accomplish this goal, this is what we need to do. We need to pull up the people around us. That's the leaders that I feel like when you're talking about somebody who has a good leadership, somebody who, when they're out there, they're cheering their teammates on. If they're out there running drills, they're cheering their teammates on in the drills or in the weight room. They're always picking up their teammates. They're talking about how they got to hold themselves accountable because, if I'm going to lead you, I got to be able to hold myself accountable. And I think those are some of the things that I look for in leadership qualities. I never forget Bill Parcells. That's what I started with when I came out in the league. And there was a quote that he had, and he was like, winners, and I know I'm not getting it right, but it was kind of like winners rally everybody around them to be better and try to figure out what's the problem and how can we do to figure out a solution. And losers huddle up in the corners complaining about everything. Somewhere along those lines, I know I'm butchering it, but the leaders are the ones that try to figure out how can we get things to be better? What can we do? What can I do? And that to me is a great leader. And that could be somebody who's an older, a younger. I don't look at it like, oh, only seniors can be leaders. I look at it, whichever person has those qualities that when you look at them, you know, hey, there's somebody that I want to be around because I know they're looking and they're headed in the right direction.
Wow, that was a really amazing interview with Jermaine Wiggins. We wish you the best as the head coach for the Boxers. What's your thought of the interview?
I think it was a great interview. I think he's going to inspire the players, and he's going to be a great leader, honestly.
Nice, nice. We can't wait to go to the games.
Yes, we can. And we look forward to seeing you.
Overall, we have learned the importance of leadership. Our final example comes from the Nubia Coronation Special written by Stephanie Williams and Vita Ayala. In this one-shot, the people of Themyscira were still mourning the loss of their Amazon queen, Queen Hippolyta. Amazons around the world were now seeking a new queen. They eventually called upon Nubia to serve her own people because of her resilience as a warrior and strategic thinking as a leader. She accepted the role and stood strong. As the new queen of Themyscira, Nubia united all three Amazonian tribes, Themyscira, Bana Migdal, and SK Sita. Later, she wanted the world to be present for the historic ceremony of her official coronation as a queen of the Amazons. Therefore, Nubia decided to open the Amazon borders and allow outsiders into Boston Harbor's Amazon embassy. As the ceremony began, her Amazon sister, Wonder Woman, told the crowd assembled in the throne room, "We open our borders for the world to bear witness to not only a major historical event in Amazon history, but also one quite intimate. But the bond forged is one I trust will not be easily broken. For standing at the heart of us is an Amazon who exemplifies what greatness can come from our sisterhood." Nubia then comes out and receives her crown, causing everyone in the crowd to chant, "All hail Nubia, Queen of the Amazons!" Had Nubia not shown determination to bring all three Amazonian tribes together after Queen Hippolyta's death, she would not have been able to peacefully increase Amazon's visibility to the rest of the world. Therefore, Nubia is a dynamic queen by simply understanding the power of leadership. If you want to share how you are improving your leadership skills for your community, please check out our website, www.findahero.com. Also follow us on Twitter @TheHeroInYou. Please follow us on our Instagram page @TheHeroInYou. Don't forget to like us on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/TheHeroInYou. Subscribe us on our YouTube page, Hero in You, and also follow us on our TikTok page @Hero_in_You. And you can find the hero in you.
Come on, Jensen, let's get on the field and show Jermaine Wiggins what we've got.
All right, let's do this. All right, let's do this.
Let's go. Come on, team. Huddle, huddle, huddle.